left side, and the ball is Bryant caught the ball and is dragged down at the 1. I do not know how Dez Bryant accomplished that physical feat.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain possession of the football during the process of the pass. The ball comes loose, hits the ground. Therefore, the ruling is an incomplete forward pass.
Buffett reminds us that was a catch. Since Dez Bryant's infamous catch in the playoff loss to Green Bay over January was overturned, what is or isn't a catch has been difficult to define. Well, Roger Goodell said last week that the NFL is putting together a committee that would look into improving the catch rule, and Dez said he wants to be a part of it, telling USA Today they need to call me so I can have my input. Darren Woodson still hanging with us. Darren, what changes would you make to this NFL catch rule?
I think it's pretty easy to define a catch. It's, possession of the football with 2 feet on the ground. And if it's not 2 feet, 2 knees, whatever, on the ground. That's to me, that's always been a catch. I think the one thing that we have to look at is when we get closer to the goal line, the standard changes. Mm-hmm. Because a receiver can catch a ball and reach it over the goal line and it's a touchdown. No matter if he has a foot, 2 feet down, whatever it is, he breaks the plane. Yeah. Shouldn't the standards be even higher near the goal line? Mm-hmm. I mean, I just think that when you possess the football with 2 feet on the ground, if you get hit, the ball comes out, it's a fumble. Okay. But the possession is controlling the football, 2 feet on the ground. It's that simple.
And you're speaking from the perspective of a defensive back, a safety who did not want it to be a catch.
Exactly.
Right? But you're good with that.
I'm good with it.
Your thoughts?
Well, listen, I think that somebody like Dez Bryant should be in that room in this respect. I think a lot of time when you've got the intellectuals, the cerebral individuals who want to dot their I's and cross, you get the analytics dudes in the room, let's analyze and dissect stuff. It's easier to make mistakes. It's easier to make decisions that don't necessarily vibe with common sense and reality, because you ain't the one on the field putting your body on the line. I think that when you have somebody of Dez Bryant's emotion, of his intensity. I understand that you may not want him in a suit and tie sitting at in the boardroom with y'all having a discussion because you might not believe he's qualified to do that. But he is an elite receiver in the game of football who is subject to the rules and regulations governing this sport. He's also capable of articulating his position as to why certain rules don't appear to make sense. And as a result, I think that it's very, very important. The rules that the NFL have incorporated, there are so many that are vastly different from the way the game was once played. I don't think it's good enough just to have veterans who are all Hall of Famers and all of this stuff combined with, your intellectuals, your lawyers, etc., all sitting together. No, you need some diehard cats who are presently playing in that room to give you a more clear picture of what they have to contend with, and to explain to you from their perspective what the situation is before you reach a conclusion. So I'm not asking for Dez Bryant to get one of Darren Woodson's suits, sit in the boardroom for hours upon hours, because he probably ain't got the damn patience to do it, okay?
That's probably
sitting there talking with a bunch of dudes that ain't playing. Yep. I'm not saying that because Dez might lose his mind. He may be careful what he's asking for, because he may not want that. Yep. But if you're talking about getting Dez and a few other dudes who are presently playing in a room to crystallize for these decision makers what needs to be done so we can address these and keep the mistakes at a minimum, I see absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know if he needs to be in the room, but they should at least seek his input.
No, I think he needs to be in the room. I'm not talking about for the whole time, but he needs to come there and address them face to face. Yes.
Okay, you, in your first sentence, hit the two operative words for me: common sense. Somebody needs to write some common sense back into this rule and allow for the eye test to operate, because to your point, the phrase that became operative was you must control it to the ground. Okay, that's what you just heard Gene Steratore say. He did not control it to the ground. he'd already controlled it for a pretty long time. He took 3 strides with the football and then launched himself with the ball in his left hand, which, by the way, he's left-handed, so it's his dominant hand. So he's got full control of the football, and he's going to attempt to slam it on the goal line, which we see running backs do all the time, break the plane, slam it on the goal line. Well, you've controlled it for plenty of time to where the eye test tells everybody watching, including Green Bay fans, including this man and Aaron Rodgers fans, who admitted to me the next morning in Dallas, Texas, yeah, you're right, it was a catch. Now, whether they would have won the game, that's a whole other debate from that point. There was, what was it, 4 minutes to go. But my point is, the eye test, common sense told you it was clearly a catch. So they need to write back some common sense that if you have already controlled it, to your point, if you catch the football with 2 feet on the ground and then you fall, well, if you've controlled it on the way down, you don't have to control it when you hit the ground because you already controlled it, right? But there are times, obviously, when we see receivers and they're going out of bounds or whatever, they just don't quite ever get a hold of the football. Then they hit the ground and lose it. Right. Well, then it's clearly not a catch. Right. Isn't it pretty clear cut? Those people who have those stripes on, they're not fools. You know, they can see it was a catch.
And even as a defensive player, you sit there and you watch a catch sometimes. A guy will catch a ball and he has to make a football move. He'll get hit, the ball will come out, and they'll say, well, an incomplete pass. Yeah. Well, I don't think it has to be a football move. He caught the ball, 2 feet are on the ground, and he gets hit, the ball comes out. That's a fumble.
Okay, there you go.
Because he clearly possessed the football with both feet on the ground.
And look, I know this game gets bigger, faster, stronger by the week, and it gets harder to officiate because it's happening so fast. But we do have replay, and then I'm going to blame it on those people in New York who they know what's going on here. They know what's up. They can overrule these people on the field and say, no, come on, he controlled the football.
Well, that's what I find most amazing. I've seen instances, as I'm sure both of you have, all 3 of us have, where you get the replay wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the replay from the booth, you can slow it down, you can look at various angles, and you still get it wrong. Now, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. To me, that's when the NFL, that's where the NFL needs to be called to the carpet. How do you get that wrong? Guys on the field, it's totally forgivable to me. You're going to miss something. It's human error. It's a par for the course. But if you're trying to eliminate the potential of human error from the game and you've got people in the booth, then those mistakes are not supposed to happen. Now, me personally, I didn't have a problem with it because it led to the Dallas Cowboys losing. It made my day. It made my day. I was right in our hotel room in Dallas right before the national championship game, and just the thought of
you were in Dallas.
Yeah, we were in Dallas.
Yeah, we were there.
We were there.
That's right.
That's right. And just the thought of the misery that Skip was going to come to work with the next morning. I went out and time I used a particular day. I bought some popcorn because it was just beautiful.
You walked the street
in
Dallas.
Absolutely. I walked the streets. I went out and got
with
I walked
fake nose and sunglasses on.
Tell me when you're coming back.
I'm just saying.
You put your fake nose on and sunglasses to walk the field. Yes, you did.
Oh, not at all. First of all, I don't know if I can hide this nose. But the point is that it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Y'all don't understand how beautiful it is.
Last quick point.
Misery. You don't understand.
You realize Dez now owes Green Bay at Green Bay.
Sure.
So there we go.
It's on. He's got an opportunity this weekend. Matt Castle's throwing
just knowing you're miserable is good enough for me.
Appreciate you being with us. Fun, as always. Coming up next, LeBron. The 88 Club agreed to a lifetime deal with Nike. The guys will react to that after the break. I think LeBron's going to be able to feed his family for a while and then some.
Take your problems, leave them behind. You got your troubles and I got